Septic pumping bill. Jesse, you want to present this, or?
Well, we do have the customer here, if the board wants to hear from me, or if they want to hear from
Well,
the customer.
Let's hear
However
from the
you
customer.
prefer to receive
This
their
is our agenda item.
Yes.
So that's us, I guess?
That would be, yes.
Well, the tank that was pumped every 5 years, and the first one when you came out there, right, Bob? And the baffle wasn't hooked up right from the start. So everyone from that point, I don't think we would be responsible for paying $800 for 2 pumps. Then they pumped it out yesterday to fix the baffle. And a guy named Tim, I'm not sure what company he did, but he said, yeah, it was never hooked up right. It's like 800 or something bucks, so I don't think we should be responsible. Now, if you charge us another 400 and something for yesterday, or something that wasn't hooked up right, that's from your side of it.
Responsible for that.
The work done tomorrow is district paid, because that is tank maintenance stuff, but the pumping itself
Well, it wasn't draining,
is within
so
5 years.
it wasn't draining.
Yeah.
That's why we got
Due to
charged
the sump pump.
$800 or $900, and I don't think we should be responsible for that. The time before that, it was.
I've got to say something, because I've been dealing with the board since 1992. There was a mistake when they put it in my, I wasn't even home, and they decided to put the sump pump in my basement because the roads were already in. And that was this, I don't know, I never talked to them, they never talked to me. The Bayview Water and District didn't talk, they said that it was up to me. And this is since 1992 I've been dealing with, I don't know, about 5 boards. And they're denying me all the time. I actually had paid for 2 sump pumps myself. The first one that went in, when I got home, the guy was still putting it in my basement, and he said, I told them I did not want to do this without the owner's consent, and I wasn't there. So, and then after he supposedly put it in, right, which he gives me the cord to plug it into my light over the sink. So to me, I says, you gotta be kidding me. He said, no, you're gonna have to get an electrician to come in.
Do you know who the contractor was?
What year was that? How long ago was that?
92?
92.
No.
Because they didn't hardwire
The
it, nothing,
district-
they just put a little.
Welsh and Combe was the contractor.
They were the engineers on the project. They were project engineers. I don't think they did that.
And the district maintains the stand, from all the records that even provided by, is that the district did not authorize this work or go into the home while you were gone and install these things.
Nobody, and they said,
Is
I also,
That's just
when
for the
he
record.
installed it, he never came back to check to see if it worked. And it wasn't until 2015 that, I've had it flood my basement bathroom floor 3 times. And then they said, oh, do you have an alarm? I never had an alarm in there to warn me. And that's 2015. The next thing I find out, we never had a baffle in the septic tank, and we pumped our thing a lot. I mean,
Well,
but I don't
twice
think
since
it's our fault,
2001.
and I think it's never been installed correctly to begin with. And I paid a lot to, which I don't think
It'd be
is.
nice if we get rid of the sump pump, if we had enough elevation to put a tank down on the street
Yeah.
level. Is that possible?
Well, the problem is that the tank was put in to accommodate the upstairs dwelling, and then there is now 2 dwellings in the home.
Well, it's
No,
not
no,
true.
it was
It's
just
always
for the
been, it's always been
downstairs.
there. There was a
Just
septic
downstairs.
down below at street level. There was a septic.
That was approved by the so there's
Well,
a,
it
there's
was
a
there when we
full
bought the house
kitchen,
in
there's a full
77.
second dwelling in the basement, correct?
No.
Because there's only 1 ER for the property.
It
No,
was
I
1
thought-
yard, but it was a basement down there, you don't have that one bathroom.
And they didn't know
in
it.
one house.
And a kitchen?
no. That's it, one bathroom.
Well, we just
one-
put a kitchen in
Little
not too
kitchen
long
down
ago.
there.
the
What
bathroom's
does that
down
have to
there.
do with anything?
Well, it does, because they said it wasn't, we never did have a permit, but we didn't put it in, it was there when we moved
You
in.
don't even know, and then I said, they telling me, and I said, well, how come I didn't get a bill? Or somebody got a bill to put that in my basement, I never got one.
A bill for what?
No, I never got a bill.
Oh, for the
I only get
first
billed
time.
for the, I put in 2 sump pump since
Right.
then. And it's all because they didn't put it in correctly. It says it, when on the, I have the first copy of the first sump pump that was put in. And it says right there to come back in 3 months to make sure everything is proper.
So that's the contract.
One other guy said to me that they put the sump pump in backwards. How would I know that? I mean, it's just been, I could cry.
Mm.
That's all I can say. And I would like some kind of solution.
Multiple issues,
Right.
Yes.
tank, sump pump. Well, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
We got tank issues and we have sump pump issues. Obviously, we can't make a whole lot of judgments on things that were done in the past because
Right.
they were done and ruled on and that's the way we've gone. Whether everybody had the right information or not, neither here nor there, because we weren't, none of us were
No, I know.
part of the board at that time. You have a problem though, and it's in our best
Yes,
interest.
I had
to
an
get
attorney
you-
that was gonna do it pro bono for me, but then, because he said it was just wrong. And then I found out the attorney said that he was friends with Welsh and Combs, so he didn't wanna pursue it. And I didn't have any money to pursue it. So I just been getting bills. And
'Cause it wasn't pirated in, I don't believe. It was
No.
hooked up to the old system.
And that was after all the sewers were done. And that's why this kid, he came down the basement, he says, oh, you have a bathroom down here? And I said, yeah. He says, where does it go? And I said, across the street maybe, I don't know. It goes into a septic system and I never had any trouble with it. And that kid said, well, I won't tell him if you don't. And I wished I would have never told you guys.
That's pirated then.
And I was
Almost.
gone. No, that,
No,
so
I know,
somebody
it's
did.
just crazy.
So what's the issue with the baffle?
Yeah.
I mean, septic
Yeah.
tanks are always full by definition. They're not
Right.
very full of solids.
But you're just pumping back into the house full?
Yeah, we've had that
That's
back up
what
in our
we're doing.
house.
You load of laundry, it just flooded.
So
I
that's a
don't know,
drainage,
Apple
that's a
went
drainage
in.
out of the tank issue, not a.
No, it was, but
That was
there
a
shouldn't be
tank
water
issue.
filling up in your
That was a tank issue.
tank.
It wasn't draining.
And one at a
It
time,
was not doing it all the
Well,
time, was just certain times maybe when the tank got fuller, or, you know, after it hadn't been pumped for a while?
Well, the first time we got here was in 2021,
Okay,
and
had
they
it
said they
pumped.
haven't pumped it for a long time, I guess. I don't know, you guys have the records for
Right.
that. And then we had it pumped again, I don't know, maybe a year later,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy said it was the baffle was screwed up, it wasn't draining. And then
Plus-
again yesterday, he said it was the baffle was screwed up. He said it wasn't put in right. So we got three pumps now? Well, I guess you guys covered the last
One-
one yesterday,
no.
so we have 2 that we shouldn't be responsible for.
Would the baffle cause them to
Tennessee,
back up?
you wanna address
Yeah.
it, Bob?
Yes,
It would, oh,
yes,
okay.
it would.
It wasn't
That's what
connected up
keeps-
right.
It would keep the solids from going back into the thing and plugging things up. You've got a scum layer on the top and a sludge layer on the bottom, and the baffle dumped into that middle layer in between the two.
The last sump pump that I had installed, he said that there was only a 1.5 inch thing going. He put in a 2 inch, he says it was too small. So
Yeah, that's
but
a
I
different
really
deal.
don't know, and I just say, okay.
Yeah, that was a different
No,
deal.
that
on
was
the-
just recently.
I'm just saying about the problem, you guys are responsible from the tank to the street. And we ain't getting any drainage.
And the tank is ours, right?
Yeah.
Can we take it out?
Yeah.
That would really mess up the system. Because our system is not.
We could
designed
put one
for
down by the
solids.
street level, we'd solve a lot of this.
Yeah, could have fit, my old septic tank must be
We
down
do that
by.
retaining wall here next
Somewhere.
spring, so. We could talk about that later.
So is the downstairs bathroom lower than the
It's
tank?
street
Yes.
level.
Yes, sir. So pumps about 8 feet maybe.
They
Maybe,
the
I mean, that's
pipes up
probably 7 feet.
through the
actually.
closet.
It's pretty low
And the
basement.
hydraulic lock would until you get a burp in there, it's gonna then flow back. But as Paul said, tanks should always be full regardless. I mean, not full of
Right.
sedentary,
Just have sediment, not water.
not sediment, it should be liquid.
There's a vent pipe or something that's not right, I don't know.
Plus,
But I know that.
Do you have any
yesterday.
recommendations?
yeah.
Which Bob are you looking at?
Well, I'm sure about
Well, well, I heard something in this conversation, and I don't know what's really going on, but when they bought the place, that downstairs drained into another tank that was already there and existing. That
That's
kind
what I
of
guess, yeah.
gives us something to consider when we're talking about who's responsible for what.
They were supposed to take the old septic tanks out, and they could not find that one. And then later on in the years, there was a sinkhole down my steps on street level. So I have a feeling that that
Might need old septic.
old septic is right there.
Yeah, I mean, if one's abandoned, they're supposed to be filled in.
Right.
So, I mean, we've had people fall into abandoned tanks that weren't properly filled in. But I mean, before you can make a reasonable, come to any reasonable conclusion, we need to know what transpired from the time they bought the house until where we are today.
If you're gonna do that retaining wall, we'll be able to dig in and find
And I don't know
out.
how to go back and track what other boards have done since I was young, when they bought the house.
Well, that other tank that is street level was probably pre-sewer system.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that
That's what
was
I'm
just
saying.
a regular,
1940.
leaching field.
just, regular.
And that may have been where the basement drained.
Yeah.
It's not connected.
Drained up until the new thing was put in, so
And
then,
that's why they needed the sump pump.
yeah, and that,
Lift.
yeah. And then the sump, but it doesn't sound like the sump pump was put in
If
properly.
we got somebody that put in a sump pump the right way, would that?
That would be nice
That
too.
would have been something. That could have,
It's
they
a
put,
whole comedy of errors all the way.
Oh,
You
all the
listen to
way.
this and your head explodes.
yes.
That's why it's hard to get your head wrapped around it, because I hate,
There's a way to do
it's a
that.
poor way to put it, but it does describe it as a comedy of errors.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a way to put the sump pump in, a grinder pump in,
Right.
relatively low head.
Yeah,
Inch-and-a-half line, could be 2-inch line is ideal, going up there. And it should be able to pump into that tank, and it should be able to handle it.
Could they
It's
have
fine,
put
but
it
the district
outside my
has to
house?
approve all of that, so.
No.
They couldn't
When
put it outside.
the old one
my
was
house.
abandoned, if the old one was abandoned, when they went on this, I don't know if that was taken into account and considered or not. That's what I say, there's too many pieces.
Oh, are they
Yeah.
ever?
And one of the big hangups, I'll just say this, is per district ordinance, the wording in there states, so if you guys were to go for a more long-term situation, the problem with the sump pump situation is that the wording states that the problem, that the district's responsibility is from the tank to the main line.
Yeah.
So if you do opt for a permanent fix, the sump pump issue technically, you know, if she ever sells the house, they're gonna encounter the same situation. It's not our problem, not our
Right.
cost. So your fix will need to align with the ordinance
We-
wording.
But we
it
do
seems
need
like
to approve.
we own the septic tank,
Yep.
Yeah,
and we're responsible for its maintenance.
yes, thank you.
And if the baffle was broken, I have no way of knowing that, I'm not gonna stick my head in there.
We have people that go in there.
We have people who do that kind of stuff,
Apparently
they say
they
it's
know it.
broken, and I have to rely on the contractor doing the work. We should pay to get that fixed and move on with life.
I would agree.
But as far as everything
We
is
did that.
And the pumping.
upstream of that, I have to go based on previous history of prior boards have said, no, that's this other issue. And there are other houses that sump pumps for sewers are common, really.
Right.
Why anybody would plug it into a overhead light is beyond me.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it should have been hardwired in, you'd think, and the zip pipe
Yeah,
shouldn't be
And,
running.
and the whole part about
Just-
pumps going back, you
But they stopped the
can't
vent
pump
pipe.
backwards, so.
Looks like to me, they just like stopped the vent pipe about halfway up to the yard.
Well, you have a bunch of options for that too. I mean, if you put in the proper sump pump with the proper pipe,
in an approved manner into the septic tank, you can have an alarm put on there, they've got, these
There is
days,
now, isn't
everything is, which,
Well, 2015 is when they discovered that they never put one in to alarm us, and that's why I've had it flood into my bathroom floor.
my point was
Right.
going to be that you can put an alarm in that will auto dial your cell
Well, they
phone and
did.
let you know
Oh,
in
I
case
see.
you're away. or
Somebody
something.
came out and put one in.
But, I mean, those are options for you,
Right,
not
I
for the
got you.
district to consider.
Or we can put it down street level, not have to worry about it.
So if it's not the
Are
district,
we
then who
doing
is it?
work?
The Welsh and Cole?
Yeah, yeah, we paid for the baffle and the second pumping to get the baffle, replaced. So, yeah, the tank maintenance. The first pumping was not because it was within the 5-year term.
That's the one. that
So,
I
and you
wanted.
charged me $880 for that pump before we found out the baffle and all that was done?
So you called Bob, asked, said you were having problems, he informed you it was within the 5-year and that the cost would be yours.
Well, I knew
was-
that, I mean, that's
on.
here nor there about the
Then
5
it was a little
years.
bit more than just the pumping due to some.
Well, if
pump
it wasn't
work
working,
they
why
needed
would
done.
I have to pay?
Right, that's what we're
It's
trying to
5
figure
years and it's not working right, why should I have to do it? I keep
Giving
pumping it.
history.
So, in my mind anyway, if it's traceable back, if the second pumping, not second pumping, most, because we just did a second pumping, right? But the one that we did
This
within
third
5
pumping.
years, if that was due to the baffle, then I think we should cover that.
No,
Not just, I think we should cover that one.
Right,
Just because we found out recently that, yeah, it was actually a baffle problem.
and we wouldn't know until it filled up again, like
I
it
can see
did.
us covering that one.
Right.
and that's
And
what,
I think you have you have a sump pump problem that is completely solvable.
Right, that's beside the issue. The issue is from the tank to the street, wasn't working. We got billed 2 times, which I don't think we should be responsible for paying.
But we also need to make sure that the sump pump is installed properly coming into the tank and that that's not what caused the problem with the bathroom.
who can expect to see
Well,
that?
There's
Okay,
pieces.
there's 2 other
That's why I say
layers
there's a lot of
of
moving
problems
pieces
here.
here.
Well, I doubt if they ran a line out to the septic tank from the sump pump. Sounds, if it was done that rinky dink, it was just,
That would be
it was
nice.
just pumped, it was just plumbed into
We just pump it
one of
to
the
the
upper
yard.
drainage lines.
Right. That's what
As I recall, wasn't there an
Yeah.
issue too of when it exited out, it exited behind like a bathroom vanity or something like that, which made it even harder to service?
It's underneath the
Oh,
sink.
yeah,
Underneath
it's
the
a
sink.
pain in the ass,
Yeah.
the whole thing, but it does, I think they pumped it up and into the tank. And I don't know, that's, as far as I know, I didn't get into the tank to find out exactly what it was.
So what are the dates of the most recent pumpings?
Yesterday?
22, I think.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, 21.
Or 21.
4005 North.
November 20,
30405.
And the
That's when they cut it.
pumping that started this was May, actually.
and that's when I had
There goes my phone.
I put in the new sump pump.
Right, right.
And that's why I fought that bill, and I did win.
Yeah, May 13th. 1,500 gallon pump septic tank,